Hey there! Today we'll have a look at a pen by Lamy, not Lamy, not Lamy, Lamy, that was sent to me by Fonto Plumo. Thank you. This is a pen, a model that I have reviewed before. It is the All-Star, but this is the special 2016 edition. You may or may not know, but Lamy makes special edition colors every year, and this is the Charged Green All-Star. And I have to say I was pleasantly surprised by the color. It's an interesting color. It's always hard to capture these things on camera. Usually in real life, you know, with lighting and all, in real life they look a bit different. But I find this a fascinating pen. So I'm going to tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and then I'll do a writing sample. Let's just start, you know, at the finial here. You see that cross? I never really understood the point of the plus sign, but then it was explained to me that every pen type or writing instrument type has a different finial. Alright, so the fountain pens have a plus sign, and I think there's a minus sign too, and then maybe there's a dot or something. I forgot the other ones because I never used them. But this shows you that you're holding a fountain pen, which is easy, especially if you have the ballpoint of this, the roller ball, etc. Sorry, not ballpoint, the roller ball that has different finial. So if you have them in a pen pouch, you can immediately see which pen is which makes a lot of sense to me. We have the clip. We all know this clip. I mean, both the Safari and the All-Star are pretty iconic pens, so we have all seen this before. This, of course, being the All-Star, is an aluminum pen, so it's metal. Take off the cap there. The clip, by the way, these are pretty nice clips. I really I like those. Nice and tight, but not too tight. Here we have the section. This little ring is just there because I left that in just to show you. This is how you would get it if you buy it new. I'll come back to that in a second. What I've always really liked about the All-Stars, and something that I wish they would also do on the Safaris, is that see-through section. It's very cool. You can see the feed in there, and of course the nib. But I really like that see-through aspect. And you have that big rubber O-ring there, which kind of makes you feel like you could maybe eyedropper this, but you can't because there's a big hole in there. And I know that you can take the roller ball and you do all kinds of stuff, but yeah. Let's not go there. Okay, here's a cartridge. Comes in the pen, and that's why they have that little cardboard ring there, so that you won't accidentally puncture the cartridge. Now, at some point, I'm just going to tell you this. At some point, I was contacted by someone who said I put the cartridge in, it leaks, it doesn't work, and what he did was he put it in like this. I'm not making fun of that or anything. This happens. If you've never used a fountain pen before, if you've never seen Lamy before, you may think, oh, that's logical. This is narrow. It must go in like this. No, it doesn't. It goes in like that. All right. That's all I'm saying. Okay. What about the pen? Well, it's a pen that we've seen before, that I have reviewed before, but I just wanted to, you know, give you a nice overview of this. Nice size. It's not too big. It's not too small. You can post it because it's all aluminum or aluminium, depending on where you are. You can easily, it's not too top heavy, although of course it's very long when it's capped, or posted I should say, but it's possible. It won't wear your hand out too much because it is a fairly light pen. This is base state blue, should you wonder. There was an accident. Okay, now whenever I get very angry I get all blue, and anyway. The pen. What do I like about it? What do I not like about it? Well, I'm going to sit back for this one. What I like about it is that these are affordable pens. They're not super expensive, and I could be wrong. So far I'm yet to hear of quality control issues with Lamy. Yes, there are some issues with their nibs. For example, the extra fine nibs have been known to be a bit variable. Some people get extra fine, it writes more like a fine, or sometimes even like medium, they say. Depends a little bit on what you're used to, I think. There seems to be some issues with consistency in the nibs, at least sometimes. I don't know if that's fixed by now, but there was a period when I heard that a lot. You're buying a German pen, it's well engineered, the design is not for everyone. I didn't show you the end, but the end's not that interesting. That's just a black thing with a little hole in it. It's not for everyone, but I've always enjoyed the All-Star. I've enjoyed the All-Star more than the Safari because I always have the feeling that the Safari is a bit fragile. It's not, because it's a very tough plastic they use, but even so, this is metal, but because it's aluminum, nice, and you know, a good pen, just feels like this is not going to break. I like that. Of course I have to comment on this specific color. There have been a lot of green special editions recently, but this one is probably one I like best. The reason being that it's such a, well, charged green is a very good name for it. It is a bit electric. I find it a very pleasant color. Things I don't like about it so much. The Safari has a unique section, and the All-Star shares it, so that immediately casts doubt on whether it's unique or not, but I think it's the shape is unique, and it's identical on both pens. You have this rounded end for your middle finger or something that you curl under the section, and then you have these cut out facets, and these facets, for me, they work. I can hold it and it looks okay, it feels okay, and I can use that. But for a lot of people, these facets do not seem to be comfortable. Also, what I will say is they are insanely sharp. When I run my finger along the ridge of that facet, I can really feel it digging into my skin. So I wonder if you could smooth that out a little bit with a very, very fine file or something, but I can see how this model is not for everyone. And a lot of people start with the Safari, and I think that's the reason that these pens have kind of gotten the reputation to be good beginners pens, and I think they are, because they're very reliable, they work well, you can easily pull out the nib and replace a nib with something finer or broader to your liking if it turns out to not be that good for you. Also, those nibs are not that expensive, but the section is really quite something, and that's something you really have to check out. So if possible, I would really recommend to go into a store if you want to buy one, a brick and mortar store, and try one out before you pull the trigger, because you may find that this section is not for you. Okay, having said all of that, I am going to thank Frank again for sending me one of these pens. I appreciate it. Keep an eye on my channel website, because this pen at some point is going to be given away, because why not? I'm going to do a writing sample. I hope this was useful so far. Measurements of the pen are on the website sbrebrown.com, as well as high resolution pictures taken by gourmet pens. That's all there's to it. Let's do a writing sample. I'm glad to see you later. Bye bye. Okay, so here we go with the Lamy. This is the All-Star. This is the charged green. This nib is a B, and the ink is Olmas blue. And the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. It's a pretty smooth writer, and as you can see, even with faster writing, there isn't really any skipping, so a nice, smooth, pleasant writing experience. As to the pen's wetness, Olmas Blue is not the wettest ink in the world, I find, but as you can see, it does lay down a nice, fairly wet line. Safari nibs are not known for their springiness, and the All-Star uses the same nibs, so you don't really get that much line variation out of this, I think. Reverse writing is possible. It's not even that horribly scratchy. But the section gets quite awkward to hold, because these facets suddenly at the bottom and the round bit is where your fingers are. It feels a bit odd. And that's all there's to it. So thanks to Fonto Plumo for sending me this pen. I appreciate it. Guys, hope this was useful. And I'll gladly see you later.